What's up? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in for another Monday, right? We are here for the single life. As always, I will always say it, never say it enough. I appreciate each and every one of you that lock in and tune in every week so that we can get together and just work and grow, right? It's big to be able to have a platform where, we can just share. I share from the microphone perspective, but you all share in the chat. And of course, I'm always paying attention to the chat so I can engage and kind of bring that to the floor if it's something that needs to be brought to the floor. So shout out to you all for tuning in every Monday, man. My faithful people that lock in, man. I thank you all. Thank you all, and to all of our new our new additions. Thank you all for tuning in too. I appreciate it. So listen, of course, we are here for the single life, the single life, right? And of course, I think it's always beautiful that we're able to talk about this openly, so that it's not, being single can kind of get that negative connotation. Of course, we've shared that and talked about it on multiple fronts. So I think it's good that we can all come here and be open and be upfront and really kind of grow in that single space, and really learn how to work within that single avenue and use it and build on it the way that it was intended for us to use it, right? So without further ado, man, let's get into it today, right? All right, so question of the day. Question of the day. It's rhetorical. You don't have to answer it in the chat. Yeah, I definitely switched up the look. Thank you. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so question for the day. Use rhetorical. You don't have to answer it in the chat, but I want you to answer it to yourself. Are you ready to receive? And I'm not talking about like from this standpoint of receiving the words that I'm speaking on this platform. I'm just in general. Are you ready to receive? Do you feel like you are in a position to receive? Appreciate that, Elder Thomas. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Big 36, right? Big 36. All right. So, but are you in a position to receive? Do you feel like you are in a position to receive? All right. So think about that, because the simple answer, honestly, the simple answer is yes, right? We're always ready to receive, and we always feel like we are in a position to receive. Why? Because we want more, because we desire more, right? Because we need more, right? So we feel like we're always in a position to receive. So I want you to think about that as we kind of work through where we're going today, okay? Are you in a position to receive? I'm going to tell you guys a quick story real quick, and then I'll get into two scriptures, all right? So quick story. My junior year of high school, sophomore year, junior year, one of the two, I turned 16, right? Boom. So, of course, what are we all looking forward to when we turn 16? A new car, right? And I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember walking out of the house, and I'm literally walking out of the house to go get on the bus to go to school. And my parents had the car in the driveway. Bing, they flashed the keys. I'm like, oh, yeah, like lit. Like, yeah, I got a car, right? So stoked, right? And I got to drive it to school that day. So think about what we're talking about. Are you in a position to receive? Okay. Remember the subheading. Are you in a position to receive? Or the heading. Are you in a position to receive? Okay. So cars out there in the driveway. So boom. My parents are like, yeah, we wanted to get you a car, yada, yada, yada. So I'm lit. I'm excited. 16-year-old got a car. Boom. Okay. Cool. So I get ready to leave, and Pops hits me with very strict instructions. He says, son, listen, go straight to school. And when you get out of school, come straight home. His favorite thing he used to love to say, do not pass. Go, do not collect $200. Come straight home. Okay, so boom. Y'all know me. All right, so you got to flex. Man, I just got a new car. No, you don't really expect me to go to school and come straight home on day one of having a new car, right? You don't really expect that. So boom. So I go to school, get out. Little shorty I was talking to, she was at the library. And so I called him like, yo, what you doing? She was like, oh, I'm at the library. I'm like, okay, boom, I'm about to pull up. So boom, I pull up to the library. Pop said, come straight home. I'm at the library. And what you got to understand is where we live, my high school, I had to pass by my house to go to the library. Just think about that. Foolish, right? So I go to the library. So boom, my dad calls me. He says, hey, son, are you home? I was like, nah, not yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to head that way, just kind of hanging out after school, whatever. He said, okay, son, get off the phone. Boom. I think he called me again. He was like, yo, you made it home yet? I said, nah, Nah, I hadn't made it home yet. I'm headed home now. So now I know I got to get it, right? So I run out the library. Now, mind you, the library is about 15 minutes from the house. My school is probably 12 minutes from the house. I was in the wrong from get-go, right? So boom, I get home. This is day one. I just got my car, and I get home, and y'all know the tall man, he was in the house. He was at the house. He was at the house. So he didn't take my car, but I was in trouble on day one of having a car. Why? Because I wasn't ready to receive. I thought I was, right? I thought I was. Much like we think we often are in a position to receive, but actions would show otherwise, right? So okay, so boom. So then I think he didn't take my key. So, I got a stern talking to that day. And then the weekend came. I can't remember what happened. Either way it goes, let me help you understand. I got my car. Let's say I got my car on a Monday or a Tuesday. My dad took the keys by the weekend of week one. Crazy times, right? So real life though, I was ready. I had been waiting on a car. I had been praying for a car. I wanted a car. Yes, in my heart of hearts, I wanted a car, but I was not in a position to receive. And I truly believe if my dad could have seen the future, if he could have seen the future, he would have waited to give me the car. He was trying to, hey son, I love you, we love you, your mother and I, we proud of yada yada yada, boom, here in the car, right? But I believe if he could have seen the future, he would have waited. Let me help you understand this. You do know that God is more intelligent than my father will ever be. And no knock on my dad, but God is more intelligent than my father will ever be. See, the way my dad, he may have had a feeling of how I was going to respond, but he did not know how I would respond down the road. God knows exactly how we will respond and how we will treat those things. So in the single life, while we say, God, I'm ready, God, I'm ready, God, I'm ready, God already knows. You're not yet though. Not yet. It's some other things you got to do. You're not quite ready yet. You're not quite ready. I'm going to help you understand why. Let's look at Isaiah 46, 9 through 10. Isaiah 46, 9 through 10. Isaiah 46, 9 through 10. Let me get it pulled up. Isaiah 46, 9 through 10. Yes, here we go. Verse 9. Remember carefully the former things. I'm reading out of the Amplified. Remember carefully the former things which I did from ages past, for I am God and there is no one else. I am God, there is no one like me. Verse 10. Declaring the end and the result from the beginning, and from ancient times the things which have not yet been done, saying, my purpose will be established, and I will do all that pleases me and fulfills my purpose. I'll read it one more time. Remember carefully the former things which I did from ages past, for I am God and there is no one else. I am God, there is no one like me. Verse 10, declaring the end and the result from the beginning, and from ancient times these things which have not yet been done, saying, my purpose will be established, and I will do all that pleases me and fulfills my purpose. So what we have to understand is this: God truly knows the end from the beginning. So if God knows the end from the beginning, then God already knows how you're going to respond. So what would it look like you saying, God, I'm ready to come out of the single phase. I'm ready for my mate. I'm ready for my spouse. I'm ready, right? And so God says, okay, boom, he's going to be foolish and trick himself to think that you're ready when he knows that you're not. Just like I wasn't ready to have the car when I got it, God knows right now at this moment, you're not ready. And if I give it to you too early, you're going to destroy it. So I have to protect you from you. I got to keep you, and you think you're ready to come out. But God says, I got to protect you from you. You got to stay in here a little while longer. It's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's something that's missing, something that still has to be worked on. God knows the end from the beginning, so God already knows. He's not wondering. It's not a mystery to him how you will respond if you haven't first handled where you are. God knows. Okay, you didn't like that. Don't worry. I got something else for you. Let's look at Psalms 139, verse 1 through 4. Psalms 139, verse 1 through 4. And I am going to read the TPT version, all right? The Passion Translation. Psalms 139, verse 1 through 4. Here we go. Verse 1. Let me switch to the TPT. I apologize. I was still in the Amplified. All right, here we go. Psalms 139, 1 through 4. Verse 1 through 4. Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. We can stop right there. Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. which means I can't hide from God. I can't lie to God. I can't cheat God. You can cheat a lot of things in life, but you cannot cheat God. Why? Because Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. God knows what I don't even know about myself right now. Think about it. God knows what I don't even know about myself right now. God already knows. God already knows. So if God already knows, then how foolish of a God would he be to say, here's your spouse. Even though you haven't shown me that you're ready, even though I know you're unprepared, even though I know you're going to mess up, and this is the person that I made for you, but you're going to mess it up, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you now. God is an intelligent God. God knows. So Psalms 139, verse 1 through 4. Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. You perceive every moment of my heart and my soul, and you understand my every thought before it enters my mind. I need you to really try to process that. God understands. He doesn't just know, he understands your thought before it even becomes a thought for you. Before it even becomes a thought for you, God is already fully aware of what it is. So when I asked you in the beginning, are you in a position to receive? And you quickly may have answered, yes. Yes, I'm ready to receive. But God says, not quite yet. Not quite yet. You still got to keep working. Not quite yet. See, I know how you're going to respond in that moment because God has been telling you to work on patience and work on your attitude and work on communication. So God knows when that debate or when that fight, when that argument, that disagreement comes with your spouse, God already knows how you are going to respond because you weren't ready. See, my dad, back to the car situation, my dad wanted me to be ready. He probably knew I wasn't ready, but he was trying to trust me. He was trying to trust me and give me an opportunity to show him. See, my dad did not know the end from the beginning. God doesn't need to give me an opportunity to show him because he already knows exactly how it will play out. He knows. So there are things in a single life that we must work on in order to be ready for that moment. Okay, verse 3. You are so intimately aware of me, Lord. You read my heart like an open book, and you know all the words I'm about to speak before I even start a sentence. You know every step I take before my journey even begins. You've got to understand, you can't trick God. You can't trick God into thinking that you're ready. You can't trick God into thinking, all right, God, when you bring my spouse, I'm going to handle them perfectly. I'm going to communicate perfectly. I'm going to be supportive. I'm going to be trusting. I'm going to be all the things that it takes to make a successful marriage. I'll be that. You can't trick God because he knows. He knows. I'll read it to you one more time. Psalms 139, and I'm reading the Passion Translation, verse 1 through 4. Lord, you know everything that there is to know about me. You perceive every moment of my heart and my soul, and you understand my every thought before it even enters my mind. You are so intimately aware of me, Lord. You read my heart like an open book, and you know all the words I'm about to speak before I even start a sentence. You know every step I will take before my journey even begins. Guys, we cannot outthink God. God has a system, God has an assignment, God has an order, and our job is to flow within it. Our job is to operate within the parameters that he set for us. So if he keeps giving us things in the single life to work on, you got to see it as preparation because God already knows the outcome. So this is preparation. God, I thank you for preparing me. So you prepared me so that when the situation arrives, when the test comes, I'm good. Oh, man. All right. Let's look at my ability or our ability to receive. Now we've got to start to examine that, right? You say you're ready to receive, but let's really start to examine it. I'll give you an example. You think about it like this, yo. We've all ordered packages, ordered things, right? FedEx, UPS, Amazon, USPS. I don't know. Just stick with those. I don't know. Maybe some more. I know it's a couple more. I can't remember right now. But FedEx, UPS, USPS, and Amazon Prime. Let's stick with those for this example, right? And so let's say you order a package. You order a package. Now, we know when packages are delivered, they will just toss those bad boys on your front step and keep it moving, right? Toss them and move, because they are moving packages all day long. But I'm going to tell you something that you got to think about. Those very important packages, those packages of high value, they will not leave on your porch because you have to be there in order to receive. You've got to be there. You have to sign for that package. Why? Because it's a high value package. It's a high value package. So we can't just leave it on your doorstep for anybody to come get it. You need to be there to receive. There's a high value on it. You've got to understand that when you graduate out of the single life into the next phase, which is the married life, God is now giving you a high value package. He's giving you one of his children. He said, this is my son or this is my daughter. I am now giving them to you. You all now form a union together. That is a high value package. You got to be ready to receive it. I can't just leave that for anyone. If FedEx knows they can't leave high value packages for anyone, you think God doesn't have a higher level of wisdom and intelligence and understanding? Come on now, let's think about it. You got to be ready to receive. All right. We bring it home. All right. Bring it home. So back to the question that I asked you guys in the beginning. Question of the day. Am I truly ready to receive? Am I truly ready to receive? Again, it's simple for us to just be like, yep, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. God, give it to me. God, show me. But God knows. You can't cheat God. So you got to think about it like this, right? So let me give you a definition real quick. Clutter. The word clutter. To fill or cover with scattered or disordered things that impede movement or reduce effectiveness. So I got some clean clothes that I washed, right? And so now I'm just going, so you can't even see me now, right? So I got these clothes and they just all over, right? And oh man, I'm going to get to them because I can just step over them, right? Like we've all been in that mode where we're supposed to do laundry. We're supposed to get it done. And instead of getting it done, oh, I'm too busy. I'll get to it tomorrow. So you got a basket here and it's more clothes and they keep piling up because you got to wash clothes. Of course, you got to do laundry, but they keep piling up. So, man, I'm going to just keep stepping over. No, I'm good. I can still move, right? I can still navigate. I can still get around the clutter. But no, you've got to think about it like this. The definition of clutter, again, says to fill or cover with scattered or disordered things that impede movement or reduce effectiveness. So if my life is cluttered, how effective can I truly be in a marriage? If I'm cluttered as a single person, I haven't gotten my life in order because clutter says this with scattered or disordered things that impede movement or reduce effectiveness. How effective can I be? My movements are now reduced because I have clutter all around me. And God sees the clutter because you cannot cheat God. You can't lie to him. God sees that we are in a cluttered space. So God says, listen, I'm trying to help you clean up because you got to clean up before you can transition. See, my parents didn't play that game. They said, oh, you want to go out? You got to clean up before you go out. Yeah. Mom, I'm trying to go out. I'm trying to get, hey, not before you get those dishes in the sink. Not before you wash them dishes. You're not ready to go because you didn't wash those dishes. Mom gonna be late. You should have washed them last night when I told you. So go wash the dishes before you go. See, we think we can keep telling God, I'm going to deal with those things that you're telling me to deal with in the single phase. I'm going to deal with them later. And as you keep putting later off, you're cluttering up the space. And God can't bring in that spouse. God can't elevate you to that married level with clutter in the space. We've got to deal with the clutter. So we say, oh yeah, I'm ready to receive. I can just move this out the way. I'm ready. Okay. I'm clean, God. I'm clean. My plate is clean. I've moved it out the way. I'm ready. But my mom used to also tell me this, son, it's a difference between straightening up and cleaning up. Yeah. It's a difference between straightening up and cleaning up. See, straightening up is when you just tuck things away in places that you think nobody's going to see. That's straightening up. I just put the stuff under my bed. Nope, we having guests over. They shouldn't be looking under my bed. I'm gonna just slide all these clothes under the bed, right? I'm gonna throw some stuff in my closet and close the closet door, right? We know that. Come on, come on now. We've all been there before. We didn't clean up. We just straightened up. We cleaned up the main area that we knew people would exist in, and we straightened up everything else that there may have been a possibility that you may float into that space. We straightened up that area, but we cleaned up where you would be. God knows the very thing that you are trying to straighten up is the very thing that will destroy your marriage. And God knows, he's intelligent enough to know we got to fix that. We've got to fix that. Okay, let me tell you. Let's look at it like this. Let's think about it from this perspective. We all have cars or have had cars or things like that, right? One of the most frustrating things is to take your car to the dealership or wherever services your car, to take it, get it serviced, spend an X amount of dollars on it, and then a week later, the check engine light comes back on. See, now you're frustrated because you say, hey, there is something that you all did not do when you just had my car, because there's no way within a week, and I paid you guys all this money, within a week, my check engine light is back on. Now we got a problem, right? See, God knows if we don't clean up, we just keep trying to straighten up, that check engine light is going to come up in your marriage. And that check engine light, if unaddressed, will eventually ruin a car. You do know that, right? You keep riding around without checking the check engine light, and your car gonna stop riding. And you got to understand, the marriage will stop riding too, because you're not giving it what it needs. But before you even get to the marriage, there's something that you should have gave it in the single phase. That's what we are to be working on now. That's the space that we are to exist in now. Cleaning up. Clean up the clutter. All right. Let me give you one more scripture and then we can close, okay? Is that okay with you all? Matthew 10, 29 through 31. Matthew 10, 29 through 31. Hold on. Matthew 10, 29 through 31. Let's go. Y'all ready? I heard you. Okay. All right. Mine is in red. So we know who's talking in red, correct? Okay. We know. All right. So Matthew 10, 29. You can buy 2 sparrows for only a copper coin, yet not even one sparrow falls from its nest without the knowledge of your Father. Aren't you worth much more to God than many sparrows? So don't worry, for your Father cares deeply about even the smallest detail of your life. Did that register? Okay, I'm gonna read it again. You know what? I'm gonna give you a different translation, because maybe it didn't hit home with you, and I got you. Sometimes we have to switch it up. So I just gave you TPT. I'm gonna come back to the Amplified. Matthew 10, 29 through 31. I got you. Are not two little sparrows sold for a copper coin, and yet not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father's will? But even the very hairs of your head are numbered, for the Father is sovereign and has complete knowledge. So do not fear. You are more valuable than many sparrows. You've got to understand there's a high value placed on your life as God's child, right? So you've also got to understand the reciprocal side of that. If there's a high value placed on my life as God's son, then there also has to be a high value placed on my future wife's life, because she is God's daughter. And God cares about her like he cares about me. And any parent, for all my parents on the chat, any parent knows your job is to protect your child. You want to protect your child at all costs. You will do anything to protect your child from heartbreak. You will do anything to protect your child from hurt. You will do anything to protect your child from having to experience unnecessary pain. So if we as human parents will go to that length, what length do you think God will go to for his children? So you've got to understand, when you say you are ready to receive, your actions truly dictate your ability and your willingness to receive, because God's not going to walk his daughter, whom he loves and whom he cares about, into a situation to be destroyed by you because you were unprepared. He won't do it, because he cares about you. He cares about you enough not to let you ruin a good thing. He cares about you that much. That is why the single phase is so important, because listen, we have work to do. We can't bypass it. We have work that we have to do. We have work, we have things that must be addressed. It's almost like you go into a meeting with an agenda. There are things that you know, hey, before this meeting gets out, we've got to discuss all these things and come up with a solution. You've got an agenda. You have a list of things that you need to address in the single phase. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're 20. I don't care if you're 30. I don't care if you're 80. It doesn't matter what age you are. You've got a list of things that need to be addressed, and God is waiting on us. And the crazy part about it is he's still with us. He didn't leave us to address the list by ourselves. He's with us to address the list and to deal with it. So as we deal with the hardships of the things that we may not really want to address or really want to deal with, God is right there. He says, lean on me, baby. We're going to get through it together. Lean on me, baby. I got you. You don't have to work. I'm with you. I'm with you. There's something bigger on the other side. Stay focused on the other side. Don't worry about the shortcomings right now. We're here to deal with those because we're going to the other side. We got to clean up the clutter, y'all. Let's clean up the clutter, all right? I'm not going to hold y'all anymore. Man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another edition of The Single Life. Listen, I hope you all have a blessed week, and I look forward to getting with each of you next week when we are back on My Plate, My Choice. Otherwise, man, y'all be blessed. I love you.